Release the damn files. Look, it makes no sense to me. One of two things is true, I believe. Either it's a nothing burger in terms of the evidence we have. Let's separate it from this guy being disgusting and what he did and the systematic trafficking of young people, minor age people for sex purposes. But the promise to release the files during the campaign was either overplayed and we got a nothing burger if the files get released, or it's something really disturbing, and that's actually even a more compelling reason to release it.
You've been listening to Republican Senator Thom Tillis on the Epstein files. Joining our conversation, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut. Senator, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we are down to 9% of all Americans, that's it, including 3% of Democrats and 14% of Republicans who think that the Trump administration is not engaged in a cover-up. That may be just the members of Mar-a-Lago. I don't know who they are. But what do you do to make sure that Democrats are seen as fighting for transparency no matter what's in the files?
We're going to insist on the full and fair release of all of those files in the Department of Justice. We have beseeched and written and urged the Department of Justice to come clean with the American people. And instead, what's happening is one of the most corrupt misuses of power in the history of the Department of Justice. The Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, is about to go to a federal prison where Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted felon involved in the Epstein trafficking of children, is going to be interviewed by him. Now, keep in mind that no ordinary person could have their personal henchmen in the Department of Justice go to secure a cover-up as a result of that kind of secret meeting and secret deal, giving her potentially a pardon for providing information favorable to Trump. What ought to happen is a full release of those files. That's what we will insist on happening. And it's really the only solution, Nicole, because at this point there is such widespread view that a cover-up is ongoing. And these thousands of agents that spend hours and hours going through the files and finding Trump's name multiple times, I think attest further to the need for revealing and disclosing all of those files.
What is your reaction to the reporting today in the Wall Street Journal, which Trump sued, I think, on Friday or over the weekend, for their reporting about a birthday card and an illustration he reportedly gave to Jeffrey Epstein about secrets? What is your reaction to their reporting, one, that it's in the Journal again, and two, that Trump was told by Bondi and Blanche that his name did indeed appear in the Epstein files?
Apparently he was told as early as last May that his name appeared multiple times. The decision was then made not to disclose the files. That stinks. It smells of a cover-up. That's my reaction to the Wall Street Journal report. But my other reaction is, thank goodness for the free press in America and for the Wall Street Journal standing strong and speaking the truth to power and suffering as a result the condemnation from Trump and his personal henchmen.
You seem skeptical that Todd Blanche is going to see Ghislaine Maxwell with anything in the vein of transparency on the agenda. Would you offer to go with him if he offered to take a Democratic member of the Judiciary Committee along for his field trip to see Ms. Maxwell?
I'd go with him, but I'd take my lawyer too. I'd take my staff. I would take other members of the Senate. But here's what should happen, Nicole. Rather than Richard Blumenthal going with Todd Blanche, which in my view would raise similar questions of impropriety because it would be a secret meeting, and potentially with Todd Blanche. Remember, he's the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, second in command. We need her to testify in public, under oath, on the record, for all of the American people to see transparently and openly so they can judge whether she's telling the truth. And at the end of the day, full disclosure of the files, so we know what is there, what was presented to the grand jury in Florida, especially now that the court apparently has denied access to those grand jury transcripts, the full files.